Hello, it's Gem Games here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make the player crouch the right way and also make the capsule component shrink so we can go under things like this. Okay, and we cannot get up when we are here if we have something over us. And when we go out, we can get back up like this. So yeah, let's get started. First, you want to go to the link in the description and you want to download these crouch walk and crouch idle files. Or if you have some own animations, you can use those. Now, let's go to our project. I have just a blank third-person project here. So what we want to do first, we want to import our animations. I will import them to characters, mannequins, and animations, mani to here, where the other third-person template animations are. So let's import them. Let's select our skeleton. So game character, mannequins, meshes. So the UE5 skeleton. Let's import animations. Now what we want to do, we want to duplicate this blend space 1D from here, this BSMM walk run. Let's duplicate it and let's call this BS, so blend space, crouch, walk, something like that. Now let's open it. Let's go to the asset details. And here we can delete this one, the last pin here, because this is the speed 500, so the run forward animation. We don't need that. And now the second one here, walk forward, let's set it to 200. Now let's also open the horizontal axis and let's make the maximum value to 200. So now this last animation is here at the end. So now let's change it to crouch walk animation. And also this here at the start, let's also change it to crouch walk. And rate scale, let's put it like 0.1 on the start. So now when we view this, see, the animation will get faster if we walk faster. Okay, everything is done here. So let's save. Let's close this. Now let's go to the third person folder and to the blueprints. And let's create a enumeration. Enumeration. Let's call this standing state. Let's open it. Let's add two enumerators here. First one will be called standing, and the second one will be called crouching. Okay, let's save, I'll close, and you can obviously add this to your enums folder or whatever folder you want to put this, but I will just leave it here just for I'm gonna make this very simple. So yeah. Now we want to go to the PP third person character and we want to add a new variable. And let's call this standing state. And let's change the variable type also to standing state enum, this that we just created. Now when we compile and save, we can see that our default value is standing. And now we can change the values from here. I have seen many tutorials show you to do this by booleans, so is crouching boolean or something like that. But this way you can make it more like, you can add states, you can add like crouching state, like prone stage or whatever, and you can make the code work with that. You don't have like many booleans overlapping and stuff like that. So this is a better way, in my opinion. So now what we want to do, we want to move this PP third person character next to the third person map and open the third person map, and let's go to the characters, mannequin, animations, and APP mani, so our animation blueprint. Let's open it. And here, now if you try to get, let's get the reference to the character. Now if you try to get that player standing state from here, you cannot get that, and you might be wondering why you cannot do that. It's because we are here at the start, on the begin play, event blueprint initialize animation. We are casting to character, not to the third person character. We are casting the character class basically. So what we want to do, we want to delete this. And we want to change this character variable type to third person character, object reference, change type, close. And now we want to get from this get owning actor, we want to cast to third person character like this. Now we want to make this a little bit bigger, move this a little bit further and connect this to here, and this should connect to here because we changed this. If this doesn't connect to here, then you have the character variable type here, not the BP third person character. Like, yeah. Now when we compile, say we shouldn't have any errors. Now from the character, if you try to get the standing state, now you can access that. We want to get it, and we want to, after that, promote it to a variable. Now let's add a new pin to the sequence, and let's get from the last pin. Let's add a reroute pin to here, so it looks a little bit better. Okay, now we know the standing state here on the animation blueprint. So let's compile and save all just to be sure. Now let's go to the anim graph. And here where we have the locomotion and this locomotion state machine and this where we save it, let's move it further up. Now let's move this locomotion further here. And what we want to do, we want to cut this link, so Alt and left click. Let's change this state machine name to locomotion standing, like this. Now let's copy it, paste it. Oh, let's select, copy and paste. So Control C, Control V. Now let's change this name to locomotion crouching. Okay. Now let's open the locomotion crouching. Let's open the idle. Let's change this sequence to crouch idle, like this. Now let's go back to the locomotion crouching and let's go to the walk run, which actually we want to rename to just walk. Now let's open it and let's select this BSMM walk run. Let's click on it and let's change the blend space to BS crouch walk, like that. You don't have to change anything else. Now let's compile, let's save. Now let's go back to the anim graph. Here what we want to do, we want to right click and blend poses by integer, so int. Okay, let's connect this to here. How we can blend this by this state is, let's actually move this even further up, maybe to here. How we can do it, we want to get a select node from here. Select from here, not the select int, this one. And this, what we want to do, we want to get the standing state. Now when we connect this, you can see this change the name to according to this variable. Okay, now standing, we want to set it 0, and crouching, we want to set it 1, or however you want. If you have many more states, you can match them or map them however you want. Now let's connect the locomotion standing to 0, which is here, standing, and crouching to 1. Now let's make the blend time like 0.3. I think that's pretty good. You can obviously use whatever values you want. And you want to change this to both of these. So now when we compile, save, and we play. Now when we, actually, sorry, we cannot do that yet. Now that we have done this here, we want to go to the BP third person character. And after that, we want to add that input. So let's go to the edit and project settings. Here under engine, we have input and action mappings. Let's add a new one. Let's open it. Let's call this approach or something like that. Now let's map it to, for example, control, like that. Okay, now we can close this. Now back to the BP third person character. let's add that input action mapping here. So let's search for a crouch, and we should have this action events. I don't know what I was saying about input action mapping. I meant action event. Sorry about that. Here, what we want to do, we can actually even create a new custom event. So let's right click and search for a custom event. And let's call this crouching event or something like that. We can also just the code that we create, we can connect it from here, but I want to create another custom event, so we can call it from other parts of the code if we later on need to do that. So we can here call the crouching event like this. And yeah, it will just jump to here, but now we can call it from other parts of the code. Okay, and what we want to do here on the crouching code, we want to get our standing state, and we want to switch on standing state. Okay, now it will check which state we are in right now, and it will change it. So, or not change, but after we add this code, it will change it. So let's set it on the standing, and we want to set it to crouching. Now let's copy this and paste under here, and from the crouching, let's set it to standing. Now it will like change between these two. Now when we compile, save, play, and press Ctrl, you can see our player crouches, and we can walk. Oh, we haven't changed the walking speed yet. And actually these animations are not the best, but these are the only free ones that I can access and that I can give to you guys. Okay, so let's continue with the code, because for now, actually let's do this first. On the third person map, let's add a little obstacle here. So let's copy this and let's move it to like here. Let's move it here and a little bit down to like 1.4 meters. So one whole square and like 2 mini squares on the next. So it's like 1.4 meters. So now if we try, we cannot go under it. You see, because our capsule is still normal size. So let's fix that. On the PP third person character, we want to actually let's move this a little bit further down. We want to get the character movement, and from here we want to set max walk speed. Okay, and we want to copy this node under here also, because we want to change it on both of these cases. Like, you know, from standing we want to change it, and from crouching we want to change it. And when we change from standing to crouching, we want to change the max speed to 200 or whatever you set to the blend space to match with the animations. And the normal walking speed when we go from crouching to standing will be, you can see it from the character component. So here, max walk speed 500. So let's set it to 500. Okay. After that, we want to right click and create a timeline. And we want to connect this top one from play from start and this bottom one from reverse from end. Okay, let's open this by double clicking. Let's change the length to 0.3 or whatever you have set here. This you want to match these. Okay, 0.3. Let's add a flow track and let's add a key by right clicking and add key to curve. First key will be time 0 and value 0. The next key will be time 0.3 and value 1. Now we can right click on the first key and set it to auto, so it will smooth it out like this. Now we can compile and save and close this timeline. Let's rename this timeline to crouching underscore TL. TL stands for timeline. Now what we want to do here is we want to get our capsule component, and we want to set half height, okay, from the update. And now the half height that we want to set, we want to get from it, and we want to lerp. So this will basically just lerp between these two values by alpha, so 0 and 1. Now we made this to go from 0 to 1 in 0.3 seconds. So let's connect this to here. So the starting value will be our default value, so capsule half height, so 90. And our crouching value, so the B, will be, I think 60 will be good, but you can adjust it to your own liking. Okay, now here on the capsule component, we want to make this hidden in game to false, so we can actually see the capsule. And yeah, so now when we compile, we save, and we play, see our capsule also changes size. And if it doesn't match with the player's height, you can obviously make it better. Now we can walk under this with no problems. But only problem that we now have is when we press Ctrl here, we will stand in the wall. And we want to fix that. So how we can fix that? We want to create a new function called can stand up. Let's open it. And when we have clicked this, we want to make it pure from here. And what we want to do here on this function is we want to get our capsule component, and we want to get world location from it, so we know where we are. And then we want to create a sphere trace by channel like this. Let's connect it to here. And the start, we want to just connect this there. Let's add a reroute to make it look a little bit better. And to the end, we want to add to it, so plus, and connect this to the end. And now let's match these and select and Q to align. And we want to add to this set value. Let's add like, I think 90 will be good. 90 to it. So it will spawn a sphere trace from here to 90 units upwards, so to around here. So now we want to make this radius match our capsule component capsule radius, so 35. Let's make it match that. And the trace will be visibility, and draw debug type, let's make it for duration, so we can actually see it. After that, we want to first select this input. Now we have these details here, so we can actually add a output. So let's click here, and let's call this not hit. Okay, and where, okay, it's here. So let's move it to here. Let's connect it to here. And now from this return value, this tells us if we have hit something, some object over us. So now we want to get a not boolean, so we will basically reverse this and connect to here. So if we hit something, this tells this basically tells us changes hit to not hit, because I will show you. So let's compile, save, and let's go back to the graph. Here, at the start of the crouching event, let's select everything after the switch on standing state, and let's move everything further. Now, from here, from the crouching, we want to add a branch. Let's connect it to here. Let's connect the true to here. Now, when we get our can stand up function, not hit will be the condition. If we haven't hit, so true, we can stand. Obviously, you can leave this off and call this hit, and then you want to call from false. But this way, I think it's more clear, at least to me. So now, when we compile, save, and play, if we go under here and we press Control, we cannot stand because we hit the roof. So when we go out, we can, like this. Yeah, now it works. But there is one more problem. So when we are crouching and we jump, you can see that it doesn't look like very like natural. So let's fix that. So what we want to do when we try to jump when we are crouching is simple as, let's go to the event graph and to the jump event. Let's delete this background. I don't like that. And let's move the jump a little bit further, like a lot further. And here we want to get the standing state and we want to switch on it again. On standing state, like this. And from the standing, we can jump. But from the crouching, what we want to do is we want to call the crouching event. So when we are crouching and we try to jump, it will call this event. So it will run it from here. So it will make us stand up if we can stand up. But now, if we have connected this to triggered, I will show you what happens. He will also jump and come back as standing. How we can make him to get only up, not to jump, is by changing this or moving this from trigger to started. So Control and left click here. Now I will make this aligned like this. Now he will only go up, not jump, before we press the jump button again, like this. Okay, so everything is working correctly now. Yeah, I actually think that was all for this video. If you like what you saw, please click the like button and subscribe for more. And yeah, hope you have a great day and see you on the next one.